I get a lot of questions about nutrition, things like how many calories should I eat, how much protein, how much carbs, a bunch of things like that. And that's for good reason, because no matter how hard we train, we don't take care of the other two pillars of performance, which are going to be your nutrition and your recovery, then we're not going to optimize our results. So you could have the best lifting plan in the world, but if the diet's bad and you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, you're probably not going to see the results. You're not going to see them at least to the extent as you would if you kind of hit the whole checklist. So what I want to talk about today is some basics, finding out how many calories you need. Now we're going to talk about one specific goal, which is increasing lean muscle mass, and how we find out what we should eat to do that. So the first thing we're going to need to know is this thing called BMR. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate, and it's how many calories your body burns just to exist every day. So if you're an athlete and you stayed in bed the entire day, you would still burn calories because your organs have to function, your heart has to beat, your blood has to pump. That's BMR. So for a 140 pounds, 5'9" athlete, your BMR is going to be about 1,700 calories. So again, that's how many calories just to exist. The next thing we need to know is how many calories are you burning from your activity. This one can be a little bit harder, but there's a lot of resources out there about how many calories you'd burn in a weightlifting session, or if you ran 2 miles, or if you had baseball practice, things like that. So in this hypothetical scenario, we'll call this athlete very active, and we'll say they burn about 1,000 calories a day, which is probably pretty typical for a lot of high school athletes, just between practice and things like that. So this person is going to need 2,700 total calories just to sustain that amount of activity without losing weight. So if they're trying to add muscle, they definitely cannot be below those 2,700 calories because that's just what they need to keep up with their current energy expenditure. They need more to build. The next factor we look at when trying to increase muscle is how much protein are you consuming. So the general recommendations put you in 0.5 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. So I'm going to save you the math. If you're a 140-pound athlete, you're going to need anywhere from 70 to 112 grams of protein per day. Now, I would certainly favor this higher end. If you want to make sure you're going to build muscle, cheat toward the higher end. Just like with calories, if you want to add weight, you want to be probably above this number. So now we're looking at, let's say, to reliably build with this amount of calories, let's say 3,000 calories is the goal, and 100, we'll say 10 grams of protein just to make the math easy. So calories, protein. And again, just remember, this is all based on 140 pounds and 5'9". You're going to need to recalculate that BMR if you have measurements different than that. But that's going to be kind of our baseline numbers. So anytime you eat something, all you have to do is typically flip that thing around, look at the label on the back. It's going to tell you serving size, calories, protein, fat, carbs, or type it into Google. That's usually what I do. Really easy to find good sources on all of that. And you're basically just going to track everything and add it up through the day. Now, one thing I do like to point out that you have to watch out for is serving size. So you might have something that says 3 servings, and it has 10 grams of protein, 12 grams carbohydrate, and 3 grams of fat. So if you were to eat that entire container of whatever it is you're looking at, these are no longer your numbers. You've got to multiply all of them by 3. So you're going to see that if you did that, you would actually have 30 grams of protein, not just 10. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, grab something out of your cupboard, look at the label. It'll make more sense. If it doesn't, let me know. I can make a video and we can go through reading of a nutrition label. But what you're going to do is you're basically going to add everything up throughout the day and you're going to try to get to that 110 grams of protein number and that 3,000 calories number. If you are checking both of these and you're lifting weights and training, I can assure you, you are going to gain muscle and get stronger. That's going to work 99.999% of the time. It's only weird circumstances that it doesn't work. But say you do this for a month and you haven't gained any weight, what should you do? Well, first you should check your math, make sure you're hitting these benchmarks day after day and that you are truly getting to these numbers. And if you aren't, just bump both of them up. Go to 3,200 or 3,300 calories, 120 grams of protein. Then see what happens. If this wasn't doing it, most likely you're going to see it's at that next level up. And you can do that once, maybe twice. If you start seeing that you're needing 4,000 calories and 200 grams of protein, then something's probably off there with math or something, and you'd have to dig a little bit deeper into that. But again, in general, we're looking at a 140-pound athlete, 5'9". They're going to burn this many calories just by existing, another 1,000 calories with their activity. We tacked on 300 just to make sure we have enough for 3,000 total calories, 110 grams of protein, and that athlete, as long as they're lifting and recovering, getting 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep per night, they're going to see the results. I'm extremely confident in that. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, leave a question in the comments below, and I'm happy to help you dig in a little bit deeper. Thanks.